Hello there. My name is Doc Conrad, and this is my little preamble to the podcast. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the wonderful guests who we've ever had on this show, as well as the wonderful artists who have helped make this show possible. At Meloscav, at MELOSCAV, helped create the icon for this podcast, as well as the character artist, Shy Starfall, at SHYSTARFALL. Both of those are going to be on Twitter. And I'd like to give a huge thank you to the character artist for all of the visual work on this show, as well as the wonderful podcast set, at Doida Flower, at DOIDUHFLOWER, and the wonderful promotional artist, Andromeda_Snow. That is ANDROMEDA_SNOW on Twitter. If you'd like to go and keep up with the show, follow the show on Twitter at Comms Open Podcast. We're also on Instagram and Facebook and Tumblr, and I really ought to get on Tumblr again. That's my bad. Today's wonderful guest is the wonderful Friendly Taco. She is a artist, Twitch streamer, and video editor, and a good friend of mine I've known for about a year at this point. You can follow today's guest, Taco, on Twitter at @AFriendlyTaco. You can follow her on Instagram at UnfriendlyTaco, and you can follow her on Twitch at twitch.tv/friendlytaco. With all of that being said, thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Commissions Open, an interview podcast all about art in the digital age. Here you can hear the processes, stories, and lives of talented artists, voice actors, video creators, editors, musicians, and many other talented creators in the era of online work. I am your host, Doc Conrad, and today I have a wonderful artist, editor, and Twitch streamer. Hello, Friendly Taco, how are you?
Hello.
It's you. That's you.
Yeah.
And Friendly Taco, you make great art. I love it. Why don't you this is gonna be, like I said, this is gonna be a more casual episode because like I've known you for a bit, and I'm not
Uh-huh.
too much of like a professional in this regard. But
Uh-huh.
why don't you talk about how you got into art in the first place? I'd love
Yeah.
to hear it.
Also, like, I guess another a quick tangent. When you said you made, I don't know why, but my brain autofilled, and I thought you were gonna say how much I made off art, and I was like, how do you know this? I don't even know. I was just really confused. But yeah, art. Um,
You're
I
fine. You're
think
fine.
yeah. I don't know. It was just kind of. I guess this is like a almost standard answer, but I just kind of always been drawing. It was just the thing I did. I doodled. I just wrote in my math notebook or drew on my math. That um, and it was I guess like more earlier memories were like I used to watch this Korean Animal Planet with my mom
Mhm.
because she knew I like animals a lot, and she would just play it on their laptop. And how that set up was it was just TV host, and then they show like little story snippets of like stories of animals, whether they're pets or they were strays or some animal related story.
Mhm.
Usually there's like, oh, cute bubbly, or it's, oh, there's this problem German shepherd, or there's a stray and then there's a sad story around it. It was all that. And
Mhm.
for every there's at least like 4 to 5 different animals in per episode, so like an hour and 30 minutes of it. And for I would draw each animal and like draw like I guess kind of draw out the story.
Mhm.
But that was like the most more earlier memories. It just two things I like, drawing and animals, and I was like, yes, this is my jam. um but I guess like getting more into it, like actual interest in like having art as a career, I guess.
Mhm.
Lo and behold, Riot Games League of Legends.
Yes. Riot Games, League of Legends.
Yes, Riot Game League of Legends inspired me to pursue for art as a career. Because it was always like, like my parents knew I like drawing, and they would, it's more seen like, oh, art, career, fine arts. That was like the general look into things. And I was like, but that's not my tea.
Hmm.
I don't like that. But, ah, how many years it's been? 10, 11, almost 11 years. Oh, but yeah, it wasn't like I just had an epiphany. It was just I was playing League. I started season two. I remember very precisely because my brother was playing League first,
Hmm.
and at the time we all had our computers in the living room because that's like privacy. Nope, you're kids. So
Hmm.
we all had our computers. It was like a big LAN party, but um, I always saw him play League, and my very sophisticated self looked at him, sneered, "Oh, what a nerd!" And I go back to playing Maple Story. Like,
No, that's very understandable. Maple Story is clearly the superior game.
yeah,
I
of
I
course.
I commend you on that.
But it was just, and because it was always there, I would like see him play sometimes. And new champion, Volibear. Hmm. Something. I like bears
Hmm.
a lot. Um, but yeah, Volibear, new champion. I was like, oh, it's an armored bear, and I love the Golden Compass, one of my childhood favorite books. Although I can't remember a lick of it, but
Hmm.
polar bears in armor, ooh, spicy. uh, but that that didn't actually get me to download League. Ari, that one,
Ah, yeah.
im- immediately install. she just she was it. My fox goddess. Oh,
You really are a weeb. I love it.
ayo, any weebs in chat? Oh, but just oh yeah, but yeah, League game, play game, and there was because they were like pretty open about like the art stuff in
Mhm.
that sense. And it was like, oh wait, hold up. There's something called entertainment design, and that's art for games and news media. What?
Mhm.
What? That sounds like what I want. I like games. I like art. Character concept. Oh, and that's where I wanted to go from there.
Mhm. So that's mostly been your main focus from this point, at least in like a career wise. And you've been working on going from there.
It was.
Mhm. Well,
But
what's been going on then?
um it's not so much like the dream has fallen, or it wasn't anything like too negative like that. I guess in a more realistic setting, like knowing myself, because it's not like all happy bubbles. Oh, I get to draw whatever I want, blah blah blah, and I get paid. It's like you're gonna like the realism is it's an office job,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be in that sort of office setting where it's like teamwork, team projects. And when you start, you're not just gonna be like immediately lead designer. You're just gonna be there sitting there sketching a bunch of concepts, like hundreds, billions. Aha.
Mhm.
And it's not like, oh no, that's not fun, I'm not gonna do it. But it's just in that sort of like teamwork setting, I guess. It's not that I feel so stubborn that I want to just work all on my own and I think I can do better than everyone. No, no, no. But it just, I guess, like with me, how I'm at school, like college, I don't think it's the best environment for me.
Mhm.
Given like I've never actually tried and pursued, and it seems like I'm cowering out to quit. But in general, it'd be cool to just be able to freelance. But I know that's even more difficult having like nothing on the resume. Like if I worked like 2 or 3 years in Riot or like Blizzard, then it's like, whoa, nice. This person has it.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was also kind of like a mental struggle in a sense where I don't feel good enough. I still don't, but in happier terms, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've mostly wanted to go ahead and like focus on you're like concerned about the struggle between having the freedom and independence to go ahead and draw which you want versus working inside of an office job and working for what other people want to go ahead and do, mostly because
Mm,
like you feel like art for you is that of a passion, and working on it would be a little bit more uh working on it instead of a group team setting would be more of a more of an issue thing that you'd have to work on, and like it's a little bit more difficult for you to go ahead and like focus up and work on in that regard. Is that what I'm getting at?
mm. Yeah, it's like I think I can definitely get stubborn, but I guess what's the word in English? What the heck? Uh-oh.
Well, you could say it in Korean. I don't mind. Just get it out. Get it out.
양보를 한다? There you go. Um,
Thank you
yeah,
for the
it's
Koreans
like
in the audience.
any Koreans in chat? Ayo. uh, cause like in teamwork, it's like, oh, you wanna like get this idea out or that idea out, and like I always like find it hard to like push my idea in, especially if I think it's good, and I'm unsure if it's like, is this a personal bias? Do I think it's good because it's mine, or do I think it's objectively better than this person's because I think this fits whatever scenario that's for?
Hmm.
So there's that struggle. So I end up just like not saying anything. It's like, yeah, everyone agrees with that one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. You feel like you're not so much you feel like you have a problem with like possibly speaking out in terms of the work in which you would make and have ideas for,
Mm,
and not and because of like you would be in a subordinate position initially. You feel like it'd be hard to go ahead and get out of it, especially if somebody were to give you any direction. You'd like, oh, I don't know if I could go ahead and like change it or whatnot, comparatively.
mm. It's because in the end, like, blah. um, I guess like the general dream of that, like with like character concept. I'm sorry, construction. I
You're
think this
fine.
is
Keep
really
going.
loud. Okay. I'm gonna wait it out just a little bit.
You're fine. No, you're totally fine.
Okay. But with like character concept, it was if I just keep like backing down on my idea, then I'm gonna go nowhere, you know? I'm just kind of gonna always be on the bottom. I won't get to like really input my ideas if I won't like speak up for myself, if I just kind of sit there and wait and sit on my hands. And that's a
Mhm,
problem that I just need to personally fix. No one's gonna help me, like push myself. That's something I gotta do.
mhm,
Um, and it's like I guess in general, like doing like art actually professionally in a career sense, I still don't feel great about my art to really look into that,
mhm.
like look into that direction.
Yeah. If you don't mind me saying, there was a bit where I wanted to go and have you on the podcast for a little bit, but you didn't feel like you didn't feel like you should be on the podcast, but I totally disagree. I love your art and the style in which you
Ugh,
have it, especially especially like not only the line full color art that you have, but also your little small sketches. Like those are
ugh,
adorable. And
thank you.
and I know that like you were a little bit less confident about that sort of thing, but I think that comes from like not only having too much I'm guessing public affirmation, and also like a little bit concerned of like you don't know if you're very excuse me, speaking of hiccuping and burping, I'm doing that too.
Ew.
Heyo. Uh, but no, I definitely think that I definitely think that you have got what it takes to go ahead and not only like your art has a great opportunity to grow further on, especially from the especially from the concept stage. A lot of the work that you do can definitely be seen to be like it can grow and be grow even further. You've worked hard initially. You can work hard already. I could definitely see that. And I know you continue to work hard. because like you keep improving, especially with your latest piece. Love your magic. I love your Dark Magician Girl. I love it so much. It's my favorite. I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and like it looks so good. Um,
Bless.
yeah,
Thank you.
bless, bless up to your work, by the way. Like you drew the Zachary for me for the 6 artist challenge. I appreciate
Oh.
that. Maybe by the time this podcast comes out, I'm not gonna have the Zachary as like my main icon anymore, but it's still gonna
Mhm.
be deep in my heart. And I appreciate
Aw,
you making that work. It was great.
I'm
Um,
glad. It was fun. It's
yeah.
definitely something I haven't drawn before.
I want to talk a bit about the work in which you work on for not only not only on YouTube, but on Twitch as well. Um,
Mhm.
but well, I almost forgot. We're gonna go ahead and take a step back from that real quick. That'll come up in a little bit, a little teaser for a little bit ahead. Yeah, Taco streams and is a great YouTube editor, and I love her.
Ah.
But I want to talk about the commissions and commission art process and everything like that. Um, why don't you go ahead and discuss the parts in which you are currently a freelance artist and how you work on that sort of stuff?
Um, I guess like to slightly tangent back from what you said, or like I didn't feel right for the podcast, because it's gonna sound weird, because like, oh, you draw art, you're an artist, but like I don't feel like an artist,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I'll delve into that.
Yeah, go for it.
And like everyone has their own opinion, to each their own. Nothing is like flat out law. Opinions. Whoa. Um, but like I guess to me, an artist feels like someone who's at least like confident with their art and they know they can make money with their art because they really put in the hours. Cause I won't say like I hadn't worked on it. I definitely had, but not hard enough, and I definitely do lack a lot.
Hmm.
Like especially base fundamentals. I feel like I kept trying to push forward before like really completing and making that foundation of just basic shapes, basic just the fundamentals, right? I always kind of skipped out on it because it's not like the most fun and drawing circles, shading, seeing where the light goes, and but that's not an excuse either. Like just because it's boring, you don't just like, all right, next, let's just make art.
Hmm.
And it goes with anything, any like skill related thing, you gotta do the thing to do better.
Hmm.
um and my problem was I just like wanted to do this. I wanted to draw a thing, draw this idea, and just make it as finished as I can. And the thing with my art, I never feel like my art is ever finished. Like it doesn't have the finished quality that I guess I expect of myself. So it just feels like doodles and sketches at this point.
Hmm.
Not that doodles and sketches are bad, of course. I really like looking at sketches, sometimes even more than like more fully rendered products, because it's always fun to see like the strokes and how they thought around like you seeing all like the scribbly messes. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like almost seeing like a blueprint.
Hmm.
Um,
I definitely think that I could see that, especially in your in your sketches. Like I love the way you draw them and how you keep them as well.
oh,
They look they I definitely like the blueprint look. It works with it.
thank you.
Uh, let's go ahead and like I said, talk a little bit about commissioning.
Mm.
Um, what is what's been the process and stuff that you've done involved with like getting commission from different people and different and like the way you've priced yourself out and everything like that. Anything involved with like commissioning. What do you want to go ahead and talk about involved with that?
Um, I guess like in general, it's kind of hard to really price myself because I mean, okay, this, whew, words.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I see other artists, it's always like, oh, like they definitely can like earn much more than like what they're asking for. Like this is like so good. They should. really value their art and themselves. Like, what the heck? What the hey, you?
Mhm.
But like seeing myself is like, uh, and I don't want to do the whole compare fest. Like, look at this artist and then look at mine, and like, oh, no.
Mhm.
But it just feels kind of uncomfortable to try to receive more than what I feel like I deserve. But I did raise it a little bit compared to before. And I was gonna try to base off like this one post I saw. I think it was on DeviantArt, or at least like screenshots of DeviantArt from Twitter.
Mhm.
But it was like a whole bit on how like to price yourself as a commission artist or artist for commissions. Um, and one part like just kind of stuck was like basically measuring it like if it was minimum wage. I was like, huh, that seems pretty smart. But also, everyone has like different paces, and it might be like if you're super fast, you can get things done real quick and like keep that quality. You can be a bit undercut from that. Or if
Mhm.
it's the other way around, it's like you take your time and it's like kind of harder to match as well.
Mhm.
But I think that's like for more when I'm comfortable with my art and like have an actual process of how I draw because it just kind of goes all over.
Mhm.
Um, but I try to like cut it simply. Like I guess like currently my commissions, it's like the cute little chibi like almost sticker like aesthetic, and then the next one is like just sketches but like more full on drawn, and then the next one is like colored as much shading as I could do without making it a mess. Um, the most finish I could currently do.
Mhm.
And I kind of changed the prices so it goes in threes because I also used Kofi.
Mhm.
So it's like since it's $3 each, it'd be easier if people want to pay through that. Then they just click the coffee a couple times and boop, numbers, math, exact numbers. mm. uh, but with I guess like getting commissions, I did not to like sound like, oh no, I don't get a lot. It, I don't. That's just like factual, and
Mhm.
it usually from reoccurring customers. Well, really friends at this point. But like when I had to like kind of do like an emergency push, like I retweeted it. I was like, I need money for my dog's vet because vet is very expensive. Haha.
Mhm.
And I got like a commission or two from that, and that was really sweet of them, and I really appreciated it. Uh, but it's pretty simple. It's just they just kind of say what they want,
Mhm.
and it's never been like too specific. At least with the ones I've gotten, it's usually like, and oh, like you can like do whatever you want them. I just want like this character. And it's like, got it, cool,
Mhm.
and we go drawing.
Hello there. My name is Andrew, and this middle bit's not actually going to have a bit in it. I'm wanting to go ahead and be a little bit real with you. I, on Tuesday, started to feel a little bit under the weather, and on Wednesday, it got a bit worse. I had symptoms closely aligned with that of COVID 19, and I got myself tested, and I kept myself in quarantine for a couple of days, in full isolation from my family. So this is more or less me confessing that I really didn't get too much done with the podcast. I was mostly concerned about that and my health and worrying if I had to go ahead and cut the podcast for like weeks on end at all. So this middle bit's going to be very minimal. I'm wanting to go and make sure that I get things out and keep things consistent and running fresh. You'll have a fresh new middle bit for the next episode. And if you want to go ahead and get your little message read, you can go ahead and look at my Buy Me a Coffee page. That's buymeacoffee.com/commsopenpodcast. And if you do that, you can go ahead and support the show in whatever way you can. That would be absolutely wonderful. If you do, I would thank you so much. And I would even give you a thank you just publicly if you were to just go ahead and donate But if you want to get your message read for the next episode, you can go ahead and do so with the little drop-down menu on the podcast dealie. So hey, not that bad of a deal for you. That's just going to go and help support the show, helping me pay the artist for the commissions, as well as keeping the podcast up on the podcasting service and everything like that. And maybe eventually get a new PC so I can run this thing a bit better. Who knows? But that's all down to the future, and that's all up to you if you want to go ahead and do that. So I would appreciate it if you do. So I just want to go ahead and say thank you for all the support that you've given me. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who helps make the show possible. I want to give a huge shout out to Taco as well. She's been an absolute blast in this episode. And I think we're going to go ahead and kick it back to her, actually. And a little question I have for her. So, why don't we go ahead and tune right back in? Sorry for the interruption. All right, bye.
So you've mostly had like a very, not so much very open in terms of like your commissions. It's mostly been like people you know and friends you have, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. I definitely think there's definitely a place for that, especially for like you've made great friends over the process of like this whole with like you working inside of like video games and like doing some sort of like a it's the most like robotic thing I've ever think I've said, but like friend is basically like in a business sense a weird way of networking. um but like you get to go ahead and practice your commission process from people who are more okay with like you expressing yourself in your art style. um
Mm.
and I definitely think that there's a place for that, but I definitely see that you have the opportunity to go ahead and grow further from like the art that you make. And there's a lot that you can go ahead and there's a lot you can go ahead and do. And I definitely think that people should go ahead and commission you because you have a great sense of style, especially on your especially like your unique chibi style. I love it so much. Considering buying coffee very soon. But there's just yeah, there's just a lot that I love about your art style as well. Um, and
Thank
I definitely think that I definitely think you have the opportunity to grow even further as an artist, especially then the commissioning game.
you.
Um,
Mm.
and hopefully this will go ahead and be an opportunity for other people to go ahead and listen and take a gander and follow you on Twitter at a friendly taco. And going and going commissioner. Um,
Ah.
but why don't we go ahead and unless you have anything you want to go ahead and further say about commissions, I want to go ahead and move on a little bit to more of your streaming and YouTube side of things.
Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah. Um. So you are also a video editor, and you are also a Twitch streamer as well. How is it that you got into how is it that you got into editing?
Um, Way back, how many millenniums ago when I was a middle schooler. uh, I really don't know why it was such a craze, but like, I guess maybe in a sense it was easier for the teachers, but I don't know. There were random teachers for random classes like math, history, chemistry. Like uh, they would ask for video project or a video,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone be recording on their shitty phone, like LG chocolates or iTouch. You know that awful JPEG quality. It's like, what is this? What am I looking at? But or the little fancy kids and their mom using their mom's video camera. uh but it was from there really learning how to edit, but it gave going a bit like back is a little embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we've all been there. Oof. Me me and a friend, I guess the best friend I had at the time, we used to make dancing videos.
Mm-hmm.
And we just like put the camera on like whatever desk or whatever thing we could make air quote stand out of, uh, play blast that music on my iPod Nano, and just we just went off and we lip synced and danced and uh
Oh,
so from that,
oh,
yeah.
this is bring up memories. Go on.
No, no, sorry. It's just like at first it was just like we just played the music and we just record and put up the raw file in this forgotten YouTube channel I can't get access to anymore. Um, but from there it was like I kind of dabbled because I kind of had an interest. I don't know what really sparked that interest, but maybe from watching a lot of entertainment shows with my mom, because there was like a certain pattern with like certain shows and how they would do things and like how the subtitles came or like how if they did like a fade or if they like pan zoomed all of a sudden. It's like, I don't know why it caught my eye. Maybe there's something specific I watched that made me pay attention to it, but I can't remember at this point. Um, but got the good old Sony Vegas redacted. We got it.
Yeah.
uh, but I just made those dancing videos like super flashy, or like I would put like the music, because like we would learn the dances for certain songs, because K-pop, it was that time, 2011, 2009, 2009 to 2011, that time of the K-pop craze, but like that wasn't like completely global, but was
Yeah.
about to be.
Yeah. You had an early start because you're Korean, so that probably helped with
Yeah, a little bit.
it.
It was just we would learn the dances and I would like just make it like just use all the effects. I just piled it on every transition. It was awful. It's amazingly awful. Um through that mess, I learned the basics. And like I've I don't have the patience. Well, I guess I still kind of don't, but especially when I was younger. It was like, oh, watch this 15-minute video tutorial on Sony Vegas basics. And I'm like, I watched 3 minutes of it. All right, I'm done. I know how to cut, I know how to move things. I'm good. And to this day, that's still my style of editing. It's just cutting and cropping and making dumb zoom ins. Ayo, very professional.
That's the majority of the comedy. You would speaking of, you make hilarious edits. I love
Thank you.
them.
Uh, but I guess, yeah, now it's just like with Shadow Play, it's like, oh, haha, that was a funny moment. I'll edit this. And there it be. Sometimes something good comes out of it.
There's some you've made some great videos, and I love what you've done so much. But you've also said like you get your work also from like shadow play, but you also stream as well.
Mhm.
Um, why don't you go ahead and talk a bit about you and how you got started with streaming and playing video games and involved with that? Because I know you played League for a little bit, but now you play CS right now, and you play a lot of different like shooters, and you are pretty freaking good at Valorant and CS like a lot. You like
Ah.
so much that you're so good you have a hand cam. Like okay, like you.
No, that's because no, it just I don't know. One day like my keyboard had an update or something, the driver, and then the lights, I could change the light settings, and there's this cool ripple effect that just makes my keyboard so pretty. And it's like, wait, this is pretty, but only I get to see it. But what if I actually use my webcam that I splurged on for no apparent reason?
uh
That's it.
uh
The
but
lights are pretty.
no, I love it though. I love it. Why don't you go ahead and talk about how you got into streaming and like how it became like a how the process came into be like, oh yeah, I wanted to go ahead and do this too. Go ahead and talk about that.
All right. Well, it was what was it? How old was I? 17, 16. So a couple years back. A couple wasn't a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Uh, like at first my brother would stream sometimes, and that's like where I learned of what streaming was. Like I understood the concept, of course. It was just like I thought it was weird. Like, why would you want to watch? Like, that's weird. Good old Justin TV.
Mm-hmm.
um, and my brother used XSplit, and which I ended up also using, because that was kind of the only thing at the time,
Mm-hmm.
at least as far as I knew, and I know now. But it was it was so scuffed when I started, because I was like so nervous for no reason. Because I don't know why, like my brain thought was like anyone can watch this, even your friends, even your neighbors, and I was like just like spooked. Like it's this isn't like a live national TV, you know. But I was nervous, so nervous. But yeah, when I started, of course, like people have to come by to actually get viewers and interaction. And I did have like some people kind of come by, and that was already like made me nervous as heck. I was like, oh god, hello, like how do I pronounce his name? Why are there so many numbers? Do I read out all the numbers? I was like just panicking. But I guess like that's just kind of where I started with. It was with art streams, and that was before when Twitch actually had and this after like when Twitch became a thing. But yeah, it was when Twitch didn't have the whole art tab, creative tab,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, like I didn't just like straight up go into streaming immediately. I kind of checked out what the heck this Twitch thing was, and then I ended up finding an artist I liked, Ugu Bear, if you know.
Oh, I love Ukulele, yeah.
Yeah, and she would like stream her arts, and I was like, oh heck, that's really cool. You can like stream not video games, because I didn't want to really share how bad I was at video games. I was like, I'm not a fun like, because it's like either you're a fun, cool personality and people want to watch you, or you're like extremely good, or you could be both. But I was neither of those, so I was like, no, I don't want to share that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started watching like Ugu Bear, and then like I noticed like there were other artists that would also like stream, and how they did it was like, oh, when Ugu Bear was like drawing League of Legends stuff, she just set it as League of Legends, and that's where I adopted that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with drawing because I like drawing, and I took in just like requests. It was just like I'll draw whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I I think the basic mentality was like, yes, this would be cool if I could make money off this, but not like full on business mode. Like I need to like get in those digits. I gotta do this, do that, make all these social medias, and like constantly like, it was like at most I made a Reddit account.
Mm-hmm.
And then where the heck did I plug it? I really don't remember. I think it was draw requests, or I can draw that for you, one of those. And I would just ask for requests, and then it's like, oh, and then I'll stream it here, but I could also DM you. So that's what I did. So I got it like, I think the first time I got requests, it was like a lot, really overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still exciting, right? Like, oh heck, people like want stuff, and I was also kind of nervous because I wasn't like great at art, and I wasn't sure like exactly what they wanted on some things. Some people gave really weird requests. I worked around those. Like some, it's like, oh, draw a picture of me. It's like, oh no, this is like high school all over again. I'm just drawing on my sketchbook, and someone comes up, oh shit, you draw an anime? It's like, can you draw me as anime? It's like, no, I don't know you. You're just in my class, Sarah. No, who are you? uh, uh.
This will be
Anywho,
fun. This will be a fun topic to tack on later. But go on.
oh no, but so, oh god, I feel like I'm rambling so much. I'm getting
No, no,
like
no. Keep going. Keep
fevery.
going. Oh no, no. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, but yeah, that was like the start of like the streaming, just taking requests, drawing as much as I could, and I still have like the albums of all those old drawings. Ooh. But it kind of gives a sense of feeling of an accomplishment because I remember I had this whole like notepad, and I would write down like their Twitch username and then their Reddit username, and then I wrote down like what they wanted, and like sometimes I got like really nitpicky with it, where it's like like I would put in like a percentage of how much I was done with this. Like if I was gonna go back to it, or like, oh, I'll do this in this order. I try to do it in the order of what they requested, but some things are like a bit difficult for me, so I'd get back to them before, but I would try to like just draw as much as I could because it was fun. And
Mhm,
then it wasn't fun later when there was like over 100 and I was stressing out.
mhm,
Ended up scrapping it because like it started feeling, I guess, I felt like underappreciated given like I knew it wasn't like the best art and maybe they were expecting more, maybe that's why. And I was like kind of feeling down on myself because usually it's like, oh, like here's the drawing I gave you, and then like I gave them like a PNG version, a JPEG version, just in case, or like, oh, a different color version, or this one has like it's a transparent one, just in case we need that. And then sometimes, like they'll be like, oh, cool, thanks. And there was like, of course, people are like, oh my god, this is so nice, thank you. And it's like, that made me like really
mhm.
happy.
Hit the serotonin button,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
and just, but there was a lot of people that never responded, and I wasn't sure like, oh, did they not get it? And I wasn't sure like maybe Reddit isn't the best way to message them, and I gave them the Twitch messages, and then
Mhm,
I just kind of left it at that because I was like, oh, I guess like that was it.
mhm,
So that's where it became unfun.
yeah.
And then yada yada yada. I didn't stream consistently from those couple years. Actually, I'm gonna do the math. Hold on. What was I, 16? Or how old am I? Hold on.
Uh,
Brain?
yeah, wait, I don't even know how old you are. That's an interesting one.
Oh god. I keep forgetting. This is awful. Because honestly, after 21, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh,
I'm.
same, same. I've said I'm 21, like about like a few months ago when I turned 22, like not even a week after, like.
Yeah. Um. Okay, hold on. Brain and talking is hard. Or thinking and talking is hard.
It's fine. It's fine. We can go ahead and listen to this a little bit. Because I never realized like how much of a you have a pretty decent following on Twitch, and like I never like realized like how much you had, and you don't really publicly advertise it too much, especially to like when you do. But you have a great like great I'm guessing you have a decent community at this point of like people who pop on in and go ahead and watch you from that early time in which you did that sort of artwork. Is
Yeah,
that
for
is that is that
sure.
right?
Um, yeah, there's people that came from those like Reddit requests, or what else did I do? Uh, also I'm 23, turning
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So that was oh, math brain, or almost 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
um, but yeah, but from those like 6, 7 years ago, there's some people that were from there that still come by today, and that's like really cool of them, and it's very sweet.
Mm,
Um, I don't get like the like I barely get 2 digits, right? But at this point, I just kind of stream for like memory's sake. If I'm playing games with friends, I could, instead of like having to shadow play all those little bits, I could just pull it out from a clip or so. And it's just kind of easier that way.
mhm,
And honestly, like yeah, I didn't stream like for those full 7 years or 6 years. It was like very on and off, very splotchy. Uh, and when I did like really get into it, it was like maybe for a couple months. And during those times, on not to make the mood so sad, but it was just a very basic. I felt lonely,
mhm,
and but like I had great friends. I still do. I have wonderful friends, and I'm so lucky to this day that I got to meet some of the best friends I've had in my life. the only, I guess, con I would say about them is they live too fucking far. um, but I love them. I'm so happy to have them in my life, and oh,
I I think this is a good time for us to go and talk about who you are,
ah,
because we break down a lot of your. You have a wonderful. First off, I want to say, you have a wonderful artistic style, and I can definitely see it growing even further and further as it keeps moving. You have a wonderful. I love your edits for videos and how I'm sometimes even included in them. Like it's a warm boost. It's a nice boost of serotonin to me. I love popping in to see. I want to go and pop in more to see you stream, especially because you're just a great person to go ahead and have around. I love the work that you do. And you're incredibly kind. You are a very friendly taco. I appreciate you. I appreciate the work you do as a friend and like how much effort you put into these sort of things. Like you didn't have to go ahead and edit these things. You didn't have to go ahead and like put forth as much effort as you do. You can be like a lot of other people and just go and spend the time in the present. But you actually actively like as like in the friend group, you actually like put yourself forward and like do these little things. And it and I'm guessing sometimes it's like some people don't even say that they appreciate it. But I want to let you know, like I appreciate it so much when you do those kind of things. It's really kind of you to do those like those things. It's really nice. Um, but why don't we talk about who you are? Like as much as you want to go ahead and share about who you are, who are you?
oh, there it is.
There's the hiccups. Let's go.
And done. That
Okay.
just described what I am and who I am, all in one
all
2 seconds.
all in 2 seconds. It's just a hiccup. No, no, no. I love to hear. I love to. I want to know more about you.
um, well, I guess with that, I get hiccups a lot. 2 or 3, and it's done. Ever since I was like 11, I don't know. It's it's just be what it be. um, and I guess, and of course, like I really appreciate your company. Thank you for doing this too. Um, uh, not to sound too boomer, okay? Like, man, the internet sure is a wonderful thing. You get to meet a bunch of people that you wouldn't have been able to.
Mm,
Technology make things happen, and you get to meet one of the greatest people in your lives.
mm,
And it just keeps kind of growing from there. Like, I really appreciate like certain friends too, because like, not like because of that one thing that I'm about to explain. Oh god, I'm really bad with the timeline, sorry.
you're fine.
But because like there's certain friends that just opened like my circle of friends to even more bigger circles. Because I was talking with a friend before, one of my Canadian friends that I am very close with. Like this whole Canadian group, they live in Montreal. Wonderful beings, I love them all. Um,
Mm,
but just like this one very specific boy, my boy, he like he, he's like the catalyst of like so much of my happiness right now because he brought all these wonderful people in my life. And there are a couple people that are those catalysts, and it's just really exciting and wonderful when you get to meet those kind of people that they're themselves are great. And because they're so great, they have more great people around them and they become like a part of you too. So it's like that's epic.
mhm. It's very epic.
Yeah, epically epic.
Um,
Oh,
no, you're fine. You're fine. But a little bit. I still want to talk about you, because it's always important to go and have these sort of like close friendships to yourself and like how people can communicate between like how people can like introduce one another with like via the internet. And I definitely think
mhm.
that like getting those sort of interactions is great. But there's a lot that's sort of there's some stuff that's also missing from that regard of like you don't get to go ahead and see this sort of you don't get exactly to see everything that another person has behind the screen. Like I've only really known you from small bits of small interactions from when I talk to you via like messaging or through this, or for when we play games together.
Mhm.
But I want, for the sake of like everybody out there, um, what is like, you can go ahead and give a basic rundown of yourself, like everything about who you are. Like, go ahead and go for it.
Who is a friendly taco?
Yeah, yeah. So this a funny story. I tried asking that to a couple people, and then some of the responses are always like, I don't know how to answer that. So I tried to answer it in more of a better, in a more of a like general sense, going down with it. Yeah, yeah. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Gina, Jina.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really mind like saying my real name. Like I used to mind, but now it's like, that's my name. That's who I am.
Hmm.
And Taco Gina, whatever, still me. And I like people calling me because it's me.
Hmm.
Hello. Um, I I guess like from earlier. Sorry, it feels like a very like elementary response. Hello. This is my name. This is my age, and I'm Korean. Um, and my favorite hobbies are uh I don't know like how to start, I guess, in a sense, but I
Okay.
guess I'll try to just go. Um, I guess me as myself, I definitely wasn't like I still am not a very confident person, but like being able to just like talk normally was like definitely a big struggle for me before. Uh, it's like I am so much better now. Of course, like there's good and bad days, you know.
Hmm.
But uh, I don't know. I had a lot of trouble with liking myself, and I think anyone can like understand in that sense, in that regard, as saddening as that is. But it seems hard for people to, you know, treat themselves right.
Hmm.
I think it was there was a lot. I don't want to like unravel too much and like get too like wordy either.
You can be as open as you can be as open as you want. I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind talking. I think you figured that out real quick.
Hmm.
Um, I do enjoy talking and like sharing, maybe sharing too much at times. Oopsies. But
Hmm.
eh, I yeah, uh, yeah. It was a lot with like my voice, which is why I had trouble speaking up a lot. And there are times I mumble plenty. I think it's just gonna be how it be, and I just need to kind of push it out more if I don't feel like I'm mumbling, but I definitely am.
Hmm.
Just gotta be wary of it, cause I I'm so much better now. Yeah, it's barely a problem at this point. Like before, like I can listen to recordings of myself. It's like, oh, whatever, that's me.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, before it was really not good because I used to talk in like a lower register too, like on purpose, back in like middle school, because I didn't feel, what's the word? It's very like basic words, but I didn't feel pretty enough to see myself as a girl because I think, oh, girl needs to be pretty. And it's like, I'm not that, so I can't be girl. So I try to like be the least girly as I could
Hmm.
in that sense. Like I would lower my voice a lot. And it was like really straining, but I didn't feel like I should have a girly voice. And even if I talked normally, I felt like it was this weird middle high, middle low range that doesn't sound like a pretty girl's voice.
Hmm.
But there was a lot of that, and that kind of like stuck around because I know that I kind of still always push my voice a little down. Like I don't have the highest register voice, but I know that I push it down
Hmm.
sometimes. Um, but now it's not like a conscious like push. It's just how it be. It's built in.
Hmm.
But I get comfortable enough to like just talk normally or like if it goes higher, then it goes higher. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of that. So that's why, like, I think the mumbling also kind of came from that too. And I would try to, like, talk quieter too, because I didn't want to talk loud enough to a point where I could slightly hear my voice from my ears. Because you use your ears to listen. But I don't know why I had to specify the ears, but um, yeah, like I talked really quiet, mumbled a lot, so it wouldn't like reach that point where I could kind of almost hear myself in that
Yeah.
sense. Oh, there it is. There it is. Um, I guess that's like kind of a big part of me, but it's not like an active thing, more of like a background
Yeah.
app on the it's it's there but not as there, so we're chilling. I'm good.
We are chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. As the kids say, we vibing. Poggers. Oh,
That's a there's your Twitch chat coming back again.
oh shit.
uh Also, you're funny as hell. Like that's the thing that you forgot to go ahead and mention. Like that's like there yeah, I mean like from an outsider perspective, you're funny as hell, your art's great, you make hilarious content, you're a joy to be around, you're also have the ability to chill out very well with somebody. Like just from like just from like talking to you, like I can honestly like you make other people, I'm guessing, feel very comfortable. And I definitely think that you have that ability that ability for people to go ahead and like get to that level. And I think that's a great thing to go ahead and I think that's a great thing to go ahead and have. But yeah, I want to hear real quick, we're
Huh.
about to go ahead and begin to wrap things up.
Yeah.
But why don't we go ahead and talk about your history involved with like you said, you are Korean, and you were I'm guessing you were born in the US, is that correct?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about living in a home with I'm guessing you're bilingual because of that, from learning from your parents. So you said earlier that you learned you tried to think of a word in Korean, but you only knew it in that way. Like why don't you talk about growing up bilingual and how that's like affected you? I think that'd be an interesting topic to talk about.
Yep. Yep. Um, like I definitely don't have perfect Korean. It's like, but it's doable, you know. Like you throw me anywhere in Korea, and I'll be able to find my way back. I'm chilling. Um, I kind of have an accent in Korean too. Like when I hear it being played back, it's like, oh yeah, she definitely like, oh yeah, you definitely sound like a foreigner. But it's like good enough that some like Korean friends I made, they also didn't know like, oh, like they didn't know I was American, and like they thought I was just a Korean. And I was wondering like, like when I because I would ask them what did you think of my Korean? Because it's not like perfect. Did you just think I'm an idiot? And they're just kind of like dead silent. And it's like, thanks, thanks, bro. uh, oh, excuse me. It's because I like Korean culture for what it is, but we're not like, I guess like growing up, we're not like too like culturally fixated. Pretty like loose, good old American.
Hmm.
We're pretty chill. Parents are chill. Um, and I don't know. I like speaking Korean. I prefer Korean, but I definitely can't express every little thing I want in Korean.
Hmm.
So there is like slightly a language barrier still. And with like the word, like not being able to remember it, it's like because like with Korean, there's so much more expressive words I feel like compared to English. At least like in a broad vocabulary way. Like
Hmm.
English, there's definitely plenty of words you could use, but they're like
You have to
I
use
don't
them in
know. They're like
you have to use them in a combination of ways in order to fully express it. Whereas there's
yeah,
probably a word specifically in Korean for that whole meaning.
hmm or it's like a very complex word, or it's like the upper dictionary section. It's like very like, whoa, that's a SAT word.
Mhm.
But like with Korean, it's like, oh, excuse me, sorry.
You're fine.
There's yeah, it's like of course they have like difficult words too, like they're SAT words, but I don't know, it feels more friendly in that regard where you could just there's so many more adjectives, so many like fun ways you can say things that's not necessarily a word, but you get the idea down. It seems like a more uh like a better to express yourself language,
Mhm.
at least for me. But maybe it's there's a little bias there.
Mhm.
But and it's like just kind of fun to speak Korean more. But like communication wise, yes, English is preferred.
Mhm. Okay.
And like yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think we are getting close to the end of things, but I've I've been doing a little bit of the preview. Like normally when I talk to guests, I like gush at the very end, but I've been gushing all the way through because like you're my good friend, and I know I can go ahead and do all that. But there Taco, I'm glad I met you. You're one of the few friends I can go ahead and like I can like constantly like talk to or talk about, and it'd be like it's always like a good thing to go ahead and discuss things with you. You're able to go ahead and be incredibly friendly. Haha. You
Huh.
have, like I said, you have the ability to go ahead and make people just like calm down and chill out. Like you have that aura about you. And you are also like you put forth very much a lot of effort into the friendships that you've made. And like you do like these little things that most people don't go ahead and consider. You just do them because like it'd be a great thing to go ahead and do, and it's like a special moment that you create within them, and it's really nice to go in here. Your art style is absolutely wonderful. I love it so much, and I definitely think that you should put a bit more confidence and focus back up into it because of how like I for certain believe that it's really good, and I think that it can even grow even further to the point where you yourself would be comfortable and confident in it once more. Because like it deserves to be that way, because like you are an absolute joy to be around, and of course no one wants to go and have you feel down in that regard, but like you deserve to go ahead and feel confident in the work that you make. And I absolutely love the time we've spent together in this regard, and I really do appreciate like every chance get to go ahead and I get to go ahead and see you in the Discord and play video games with you. It's always a joy to go ahead and see you.
It's always a joy to hang out as well. And
Mhm.
man, and not to fucking be like a shonen protagonist. Oh, my friends, Minna. But honestly, it's just it's what it's all their good doing. They make they made me who I am, or like help me feel better about myself. So credit due where credit's given. Um, yeah, it just had a got real lucky, got to meet real good people, and I appreciate that a lot to like be someone that you can be comfortable with and like get oh so many compliments. It's nice, like yeah,
Yeah. And on
yeah.
that note, we're gonna go ahead and end things off. Thank you so much, Taco. I really do appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Commissions Open. If you would, please follow this podcast on whatever app you use. I would most definitely appreciate it. I'd like to give a huge thank you to all the wonderful artists who helped make this show possible. At Meloscav, at MELOSCAV, helped create the icon for this podcast, as well as the character artist for the icon for this podcast. At Shy Starfall, at SHYSTARFALL. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to the character artists behind all of the art on YouTube, as well as all the social media sites, at Doida Flower. at DOIDUHFLOWER. And as well, I'd like to give a huge thank you to Andromeda_Snow, the wonderful promotional artist. You can follow him on Twitter at ANDROMEDA_SNOW. And that's going to do it for my wonderful crew who helps me behind the scenes. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to Taco for doing this episode. Taco, I had a blast. Thank you so much. And I know this was a little bit out of your comfort zone for doing some sort of podcast. Took a little bit of convincing, but hey, I'm super thankful that you did this. I really got to open up and hear more from you, and it was really nice. You can follow Taco on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch. The following is on Twitter, A Friendly Taco. On Instagram, it's Unfriendly Taco. And on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/Friendly Taco. You can find all those links down below in the podcast description, as well as a description on YouTube. Well, with all of that being said, thank you all so much, and have a wonderful day.